Lisinac is back in the game. The CEV Cup and Polish Cup winners have been decided. Both Zenit teams are heading to the Super League finals, and the Russian national team is about to play some international matches. All that and more in this episode of Volleyball News. You know the drill, like and subscribe, and I'll keep the volleyball updates coming. Wanna catch the decisive matches of the club season live? Then join my VK group, the links in the description, or just scan the QR code on your screen. Serbian middle blocker Srećko Lisinac will be joining Brazilian club Minas next season. He signed a one-year deal with an option for another. What's interesting is that he'll undergo surgery in Brazil and stay there for rehab, which could take up to 6 months. Basically, this is his shot at coming back to pro volleyball, maybe his last. The same approach worked with Brazilian middle Isaac, who came back strong. By the way, Lisinac's last official match was back in May 2023. And a move within Turkey. Mirza Lagumdzija will be playing for Fenerbahçe next season. The 23-year-old outside hitter is leaving Halkbank after 2 seasons. And fun fact, his brother Adis Lagumdzija is also heading to Fener, so we've got a sibling duo playing together. The Russian Volleyball Federation has named 4 candidates for the head coach job of the women's national team. Konstantin Ushakov from Zareče, Alexander Kashin from Leningradka, Yuri Merechev from Proton, and Ivan Pooh, the analyst from Belagori. Who'll actually get the role? Still up in the air. Now about Igor Kolakovic. The Montenegrin coach recently left Halkbank and might return to Slovenia to coach Ljubljana again. He was already there in 2010-11s and 2011-12s. If this happens, he'll have a solid squad: Stern, Urnaut, Ropret and Pajenk, all reportedly joining the team. The IOC has confirmed the program for the 2028 Olympics in LA. Unfortunately, no changes for volleyball. Still 12 men's and 12 women's teams, each with just 12 players. Many federations and coaches were hoping for expanded rosters, but it's business as usual. The Slovenian Federation released an extended men's roster for VNL 2025. New head coach Fabio Soli named 23 players. Veterans like Tinen Urnaut and Jan Kozamernik are in, along with a bunch of young guys. But there are some noticeable absences. Gregor Ropret, Alan Pajenk, Klemen Chebul and Jani Kovacic didn't make the list. In May, the Russian men's team is heading to China. Alexander Yaremenko announced that the team will hold a training camp there from May 15th to 26th and play a series of friendly matches against the Chinese national team. Then, at the end of May, the team will go to Serbia. From May 26th to June 1st, both the men's and women's Russian teams will train together in Belgrade. Each team will play 2 matches, one in training format and one full-on game. Key dates: May 31st and June 1st. It's still unclear if the games will be under the Russian flag with anthem and all, or played in neutral status. That depends on FIVB and CEV decisions. And lastly, 3 experienced players from the Dutch national team have announced their retirement. Outside hitters Robert Andringa and Martin van Garderen, and opposite hitter Wouter ter Maat. The CEV Cup has wrapped up, and we finally have a winner. Rezovia took the first set, but couldn't hold on to the title. For the first time ever, Ziraat got their hands on a European trophy. The last time a Turkish club won this cup was back in 2013, that was Halkbank. After their win on the road, any kind of victory at home would do for Ziraat, and they got it in 4 sets. Matthew Anderson stole the show and walked away with the MVP title. Not even Bartosz Bednorz could save Rezovia, as their opposite Boye had a rough night, scoring on only a third of his attempts. Congrats to Ziraat, they truly earned this one after a tough journey. Back in Russia, we now know the finalists of the top division. Zenit Kazan's win was pretty much expected, no surprises there. Even Dinamo Low fans didn't show up to support their team in the semis. Maybe we'll see a louder crowd in the bronze series. For third place, Sosnovyj Bor will face Belagori, who couldn't take even a single match off Zenit. Vladimir Alekno led his team to a 3-1 match win and a 3-0 sweep in the series, taking his new club to the finals in his very first season, and against none other than Zenit Kazan, where Alekno spent a huge chunk of his legendary career. The one issue is that Zhenya Grebenikov might miss the first few matches. He sprained his ankle in the last game of the semis. He might have recovered in time, but the All-Russian Volleyball Federation decided to move the finals earlier. The first 2 matches will be in Kazan. April 14th and 16th. Then the teams head to St. Petersburg for Game 3 on April 19th. If needed, Game 4 will also be there on April 21st and possibly Game 5 back in Kazan on April 25th. Zenit can't really complain about this change, since it's all due to arena availability in St. Petersburg. The series was originally scheduled for later. Belogori and Dinamo LO will start their bronze battle on April 16th. We also had the first matches of the Russian Cup qualification playoffs. Both ended 0-3 for the home teams. Not the best start. Kuzbas couldn't handle the pressure at the end of the sets against Dynamo Moscow, who are clearly determined to win the whole thing. Meanwhile, Fakel just collapsed under Lokomotiv's pressure. The second legs are on April 19th. That's when we'll find out who's heading to the final 6. In Italy, the playoff semifinals are in full swing. After losing on the road, both Lube, Civitanova and Piacenza were hoping to tie things up at home. Lube managed to push the match to a tie-break, finally putting some serious pressure on the favorites. But, as has often been the case this season, once set 5 rolls around, Oleg Plotnitsky goes beast mode from the service line and seals the win. In the other semi, Alessandro Micheletto was once again the key player. His 21 points helped Trentino grab another tiebreak win over Piacenza and go up 2-0 in the series. Perugia could close out their series on April 16th, while Trentino gets a shot the day after. Meanwhile, the battle for 5th place is also going on. The second round just wrapped up, but there's not much drama. Verona crushed Cisterna in 3 sets. Theophor started on the bench. Padova beat Grotazzolina and Modena took a clean away win over Milano. Round 3 is set for April 18th, 19. In Poland, Plus Liga took a week-long break for the Polish Cup Final 4. In the first semi, Aileron, last year's winner, took down Project Warsaw in 3 sets. Funny enough, both semi-final matchups will also happen in the Plus Liga playoffs. In the second semi, Jaeschke also won in straight sets over Lublin, although every set ended 25-23. The final was way more dramatic. After Aileron crushed the first set, it looked like they had the trophy in the bag. But the Polish champs had other plans. They came back to take the next 2 sets, and even though Aileron almost saved the fourth, Jaeschke edged it out 30-28 and won the trophy. Their first Polish Cup title in 15 years. MVP of the tournament went to Jaeschke's outside hitter Tomasz Fornal. Big congrats to him. In Japan, the regular season has come to an end. Let's take a quick look at the results and playoff matchups. Blueton gave their fans a heart attack twice and also kept Sunbird's fans on edge, pulling off 2 intense wins over Arrows, 3-1 and 3-2, locking in the top spot in the standings. Special shout out to Thomas Jaeschke. Not only did he return, but he also grabbed the MVP award, and Laurent Tilly is back on the bench as head coach. Sunbirds also did what they needed to, beating Tridents twice on the road. The second match was finished off by their bench squad. In a match that had no playoff implications, Warriors gave their fans a nice send-off with back-to-back tiebreak wins over Blazers. So here's what the playoffs look like. Blution will face the winner of Stings vs Great Bears in the semis, while Sunbirds will get ready for the winner of Wolf Dogs vs Thunders. Got any predictions? In Brazil, the first semifinalist is already locked in. Sada Cruzeiro had no issues this time, sweeping Guarulhos twice and cruising to the next round. In the other matchups, we're heading to Game 3. After a home loss, Volley Renata bounced back with a 1-3 win over Joinville on the road. Praia, after struggling against Sesi, finally found their rhythm and won in straight sets to even the series. And the biggest surprise? Suzano beating Minas at home. They tied the series with a tiebreak win. The decisive third matches will be played on April 17th and 18th. And over in Turkey, the semifinals have already started. Let's check out the results. First up, Galatasaray vs Fenerbahçe. Honestly, after a strong end to the regular season, I expected more from Fener. But in Game 1, Gurbuz was basically carrying the team alone. Meanwhile, Jean Patry had Ivan Zaitsev backing him up on Galatasaray's side, and Zaitsev showed up big both in attack and reception. So, 3-0 and Galatasaray takes the lead. In the other semi, despite a strong start from Arkas Spor, Ziraat managed to shut down their main scorer, Georg Grozer, and took the win. This time, it was another Frenchman who shined. Trevor Clevno scored 19 points. The second legs are on April 16th and 17th. As for Hokbang, still technically the defending champions, they had a disappointing run. They lost their 5th place semifinal to Alanya and will miss out on European Cups next season. Thanks for watching the 40th episode of Volleyball News. Hope you enjoyed it and already hit that like button. I'll keep bringing you the biggest stories from our favorite sport. As always, I'm Nick. Love what you do and you'll succeed. See you soon. Bye.